Testing. 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 I think I can hear myself. Oh, here we go. Amazing. So the last jam we had black with lead. This jam we have white 666 Deadpool and black 8 Jackhammer. Both jammers pushing their way through the pack. Both down. It looks like black has lead. So that's black 8 Jackhammer with lead. White jammer is still making her way through the pack. Black jammer has scored 4 points. White jammer is still fighting her way through the pack. This black jammer with another pass. White jammer is through. That looks like hard work. I wouldn't want to be doing that this time of the morning. And we have black jammer through again. Will she call it? Will she keep pushing through? Both jammers through the pack now. So white has points on the board. Black, 20-point jam. Yeah. Looks like we're having a nice long jam here. Black jammer has called it. That was a 16-point jam for black and for white. White 7 Itty Spark and black 17 jamming. Look very both jammers pushing their way through the pack. Has lead. Making her way around the track. Looks like black has got through. White still in the pack. Being drawn back by one of the black flyers. Someone has a penalty. It looks like there is a penalty on the white jammer. That was a cut track penalty. So they will lose lead. 2-minute jam, which gives the black jammer an opportunity to get through and get some extra points on the board. Black jammer is through, 4 points. As of yet, white does not have points for this jam, so we've got just the 4 points for black. With the 2-minute jam, it does mean the white jammer is back on track, but there, again, is no lead, so it will be a 2-minute jam. 2 minutes always looks like torture for everybody, so hopefully it'll all be fine. We'll all survive this jam. Hard work for both jammers right now. Does it look like fun to you, Maggie? It sure does. Does. I don't know, it seems a bit early for this kind of thing to me, but that was the end of that jam. think that was Jam 3. So black on 31 and white on 20. That was a really tough jam for 2 minutes. So we have white 3, Nels Bells jamming for white, and we are awaiting a black jammer. Oh, black jammer is in the bin. I missed that at the end of that last jam. So black is starting in the bin. That does mean that they can get lead if white does not get lead before they leave the penalty box. White 3 pushing their way through, doing a great job. That looks like a directional penalty for black 6-4. A directional penalty is when a blocker or jammer is pushing in clockwise position instead of anti-clockwise position. So white does have lead. So when the black jammer does come on, they will not be lead. Being held back quite effectively by white 17. Pack is getting a bit stretched out at the moment. Looks like very hard work. These juniors are all under 18 years old. Black jammer receiving a forearms penalty. I believe black jammer is still on their initial jam. That was the end of that jam. Starting from, which means that there's no jammer, no black jammer on. So at the moment we have black on 31 and white on 22. This is jam number 5. White 5-4 Rainbow Bash. Jammer starting in the bin again. For the black team. White has lead. Nice and easy, or she made it easy. That's they make it all look easy. Jammers through. Pushing through. There's a pretty effective, or what EVRD would call a Voltron at the front with the black players. White has 4 points. Looks like the black jammer has run and has passed the star to blocker number 10, black 10, who is Never Ending Rory is the new jammer. That was a pass. So jammer is struggling to get through at any point. They are able to pass the helmet cover to pivot, and then the pivot becomes jammer, assuming everything is done legally, which means both skaters upright, inbound. So that was 4 points. So we are 35 to black and 30 to white. We have an official timeout. Official timeouts happen when the officials need a little bit more time to discuss something that's happened. So it could be questions about points, it could be questions about penalties, it could be questions about who should be sitting in the bin at any given time. When skaters are sent to the bin, they are there for 30 seconds. The first seated, the next 10 are standing up to let the skaters on track know that about to re-enter the track. Ends with someone in the bin, their time gets paused when the next jam starts. We have one skater starting in the bin. We have White 22 Sonic Dash jamming for White, and I don't see the skater number for the black team. Black has lead. So is jamming for the black team. So we have Nightmares jamming. That white jammer is to get through. We will have 2 full teams on track. 4 more points for black. In the pack, pushing very hard. Through. There is a penalty. I believe that was because the white jammer to duck under the other player's arms. Of course, is dangerous because they could end up hitting their head on the opposing player's arms, causing a head or a neck injury. So that is generally penalized. There's a power jam for black. That black jammer is very impressive. You would never believe that these young they put the adults to shame. So 4 more points for black. Again, that's black 33 Nightmares jamming. Black 12, one of the blockers has been sent to the bin. White jammer back on track, but still has made the initial pass. So not scoring points. 6-6 being sent to the bin for a penalty, or black 6-6 is back on track. White jammer has made it through the pack. The end of the jam. So that was a 20 for black. And white unfortunately did not get any points, but did finally make the initial. So on track, we have black 10, Never Ending Worry jamming for black, and we have white 777, Charlotte's Web jamming for white. Both teams are down 1 blocker with 1 in the bin, so it's 3 blockers on track. Black has lead. 3 on track should mean that it's a little bit easier for the jammer to get through, but that is not always the case. Someone is jammer penalty. That was a high block penalty, or misconduct penalty, sorry. This is a modified contact game, which that they're not allowed to make very they're meant to are seeing some penalties that you would not normally see for adult full contact derby. Black Jammer lead way through the pack. Still have some players out the front making that very difficult. Arms penalty on Black. It's a power jam. So because the lead jammer was sent to the bin, there is no lead. This will be a 2 White 777, Charlotte's Web making her way around. The initial has just been completed, and now she can start scoring points. White Jammer is having a little bit of a hard time pushing through. Again, they do not make it easy. Out the front, yes. Jammer has completed another pass with 4.
Lining up for this jam, we have
White, we have Izzy Sparks, and Black 1, which is Kamikaze. See it. Someone just.
This is a power jam for the Black team now.
Here's Kamikaze, ready to score some points.
A couple of skaters in the bin for the white team at the moment. Black.
Another 4 points for Black.
We have another skater for white.
Jammer, who has now completed their initial. Jammer ducking and diving through in the pack. White has just received a cut penalty. That was because they stepped out. So Black starting with a power jam. Still get if Black does not get lead first.
For the Black team and with Jack Hammer from the Black team, number 8, lining up as the jammer for this jam.
2 full teams. Oh. The only person in the bin is the white Jammer. The camera has made that look easy. Flying through with the help of her team. One of the nice things about having a power jam is all of your blockers can help you get through the opposing blockers by making a space for you. Different jammers have different to be like, what are the, I don't know. They all have weird names. Different leagues moves. So White's job as jammer should be just that little bit easier. Black jammer being sent to the bin. Black jammer was lead, which means that there is now no lead, which means that we will have another 2-minute jam. Once again, White making it look easy. Bench coach telling him to keep going. It is a 2-minute jam, folks. So regardless, they just have to keep pushing through. Black blocker taking the long way back onto the track. The gets on and right through. So there's 4 more points. Both teams now full power on track. With 2 seconds left in this jam. Black jammer getting 4 more points right at the end, which meant we had an 18-point jam for Black. 16-point jam for Black and 11-point jam for White.
This jam is starting as a power jam for the Black team with jammer number 17, Madam Crusher, jamming. White jammer is in the bin. Pack is moving fast with Black jammer trying to get through there, but it's moving very quickly.
Some teams try to move quickly to prevent the jammer from getting through. Again, if the jammer does not get through and the other jammer comes on track, lead is still available.
Black takes lead.
Black has lead, and a Black blocker is now leaving the track for a penalty. White jammer is back on track and now trying to push through.
We're seeing a White blocker go to the bin. Number 777.
They're rushing. 777. Some real hustle there on the way to the bin.
We've just seen a star pass as well with pivot 023 for White taking the star.
023 is Sasquatch. That is a great name.
That's a great name.
We have a directional penalty. White. So there's 2 White. Oh, it means there are only 2 on. Makes it very hard work for that White jammer.
Black jammer's made Pack again with 4 points. White has just exited as well.
We still have 1 White blocker in the bin. This is not a 2-minute jam unless the lead jammer decides to make it a 2-minute jam. Oh, there she goes. They've called it off. Moment, the bin is empty. It feels like most jams we've started with at least 1 player in the bin.
Yeah, that makes it hard for each team when you're down a teammate on track. So it's nice to see lineups for this jam.
We have Black 6'6", April O'Wheel jamming for Black, and White 22, Sonic Dash jamming for White. I believe both those skaters are part of the Southeast Magic Rollers team. Both pushing through. Looks like black has lead.
That was an excellent line by black 6-6.
White 22 trying to make the black reforms. The quicker you can reform, the better off you are in most cases. One of the black blockers is being sent to the bin. Black still has lead.
Another black blocker for the bin.
Two black blockers in the bin, which makes it a little bit easier for white 22 to make his way through the pack. 3 black blockers. We got 1 on the way to the bin, which means that there's only 1 on the track. That's always fun, isn't it? When you have 1 blocker left on the track, they are the pack.
Starts to feel like a bit of a ghost town.
Yeah, but it's also a huge responsibility.
This is a valiant effort from our black blocker who's holding back the jammer. And we've got another black blocker on track.
And here comes the 3rd black blocker. Most jammers are told by their bench to make sure that they don't call it if they are lead until their entire team is back on the track. Once your entire team is back on the track, that's usually an okay-ish time to try to call.
Black jammer calls it off. And we have 1 white skater in the bin.
Black broke 100 points that last jam. I believe that was an 8-point jam for black and 12 points for white with a score now. That was a 12-point jam. Black on 111 and white on 65. We still have another 6.5 minutes left in this half. Anything could happen.
We've got Charlotte's Web for the white teams. Jamming and Jackhammer, black 8. And Jackhammer has just made it through the pack, taking lead, followed closely by white.
Usually involves chasing somebody down, and that is part of the rule set. Later today, though. I know one of the EVRD jammers loves a bit of jammer on jammer action. It looks like black jammer lost lead and is on her way to the bin to join her pivot. So we have 2 black skaters and 1 white skater in the bin. So we'll have a 2-minute jam. White 7 making her way through, scoring lots of points. What they can get to close the gap. With just 2 black skaters on track, it's not super at the moment. There was no pack called. The black blocker continued to engage, so the black blocker is now going in for a penalty, while the white jammer is free to proceed around the track.
Both jammers at the back of the pack all of a sudden, with both heading out at the same time.
You feel like they really want some jammer on jammer action today, don't you?
You can see that they're just...
Black 6-4 heading to the bin. So the black team will be starting down 1 the next jam. So we have black and Never Ending Rory starting jamming for black, and we have white 3 Nels Bells.
Never Ending Rory starting without their pivot. they want to pass, they won't be able to, so it's all on them to get through the pack. Valiantly at the back of the pack there. Nels Bells.
It's Nels Bells. This
Gotta love
is
a
Junior
good pun.
Derby. Junior Derby, family-friendly names only. Black has lead. Black 10, Never Ending Rory, stumbling a little bit. Looks like hard work getting through, and we have Nels Bell has completed her initial as well. Black Jammers straight through, 4 points. Making it look easy. Time getting through the pack sometimes, but that they can sneak that not everyone else can sneak through. Black Jammer pushing through her team to help get through and calling it. It looks like there's nobody in the bin at the moment. Hopefully there are no late penalties, so both teams will hopefully start with full teams on track. We have 2 minutes 43 seconds left, so probably 2 more jams left. 131, white on 90. The gap is closing ever so. We have white 22 Sonic Dash, and did we decide that black skater was
Looks like
Nightmares?
3-3
I think
Nightmares.
it's Nightmares. Not having a number on your back does make it a little bit hard for commentators to know what's going on. We have white 2-2 Sonic Dash taking lead, followed closely by Nightmares. The pivot making it really easy for the jammer to get through. Oh, looks like there was a penalty on one of the white skaters. It looks like a back block. We have another white blocker on the way to the bin, so that's 2 white blockers in. That means there are 2 left on track to help stop that black skater. Nightmares got right through.
Sonic Dash hot on their heels.
Those 2 blockers really struggling, hoping that their other 2 blockers will get back on track really soon. Maybe we can get one more pass in before that happens. Nightmares pushing through, being held back a little bit more effectively. And it looks like both of the white blockers are now back on track, so we have a full team. That does not stop Nightmares, though. White Jammer calling it. We've got 53 seconds left, which means we will have one more jam. Black at 47, white at 108. That was a 16-point jam for black. Once upon a time, folks, it used to be possible for jammers to get 5 points in a jam, back when there was a jammer lap point. We have black 8 Jackhammer jamming for black, and 4 Rainbow Bash jamming for white. Now that fifth 25-point jams, but I remember watching VR get 25-point jams regularly, which was really demoralizing for the other team, so it's probably for the best. Black did get lead on that one and has pushed right through. So black lead. Bench coach telling black 8 to keep going. White is through. Black is continuing. So, on the white pivot. Black jammer is through. Jammer is struggling just that little bit now. The pivot on track means that white jammer just penalty. It looked like it was a blocking with the head penalty. Penalty. You see the head penalty? It was a head penalty.
I didn't see it. But
I saw this. It looked like a head penalty.
Of course, we want to play derby for as long as we can, so some of these penalties are based on keeping skaters safe. Most of them, actually.
Yep. The clock has ended, so we have 5 seconds left for this jam. Black jammer getting as many points as possible, and it white jammer in the bin. Will need to reach the bin. At least they get a little bake sale for the people that are still here. If you're at home, I'm sorry, bake sale is available. I don't think we can post anything to you. We have a selection of vegan and gluten-free things as well as your usuals. And we also have quite an amazing raffle table. Raffle tickets are available. It's $2 for one ticket, $3 3 tickets for $5, 7 tickets for $10. The raffle will be drawn at halftime during the last bout. If you're not going to be here for the whole day, you can leave your name and phone number, and we will get your prize to you. We have more than we have on our list here on the table. I'll just try to go from memory. Do you want to start reading?
Yeah, so our first pack, Body Shop Big Lather and Slather Pack. How's that for a name? If you're looking for a way to clean and pamper your skin, this case includes avocado
We're live again from beautiful Keysborough. We have the Modified Contact Juniors on the track. Looks like we have white 067 jamming for the black team. That is Dustbuster. I don't think we've seen Dustbuster jam yet. The white jammer is starting in the bin. That does mean that the white jammer can still get lead if they do their job right. And it looks like that's what just happened. So the white jammer, although they started in the bin, is lead. We have white 54 Rainbow Bash. Black jammer is still in the pack, is just making their way out of the pack. Again, that is Dustbuster, black 067. White jammer sneaking around the outside with some toe stop action. Dustbuster just entered the pack. Trying to push through. Pack got a bit stretched out there. Looks like they're starting to reform, and white has just called the jam. Starting strong with, we'll see what points we end up with. I believe that's 8 points for white. 8 points for white on that jam and 4 points for black. Going into the second half with 175 black, 122 white. Just over 50 points between them. We've seen it slightly worse, so I have all faith in the white team bringing it back home for us. We have white 22 Sonic Dash and black 1 Kamikaze something. Kamikaze. I saw 2 names in the back, so I was a bit confused. Both jammers struggling a little bit. We have full teams. Both teams have 4 blockers on track. Looks like there is a penalty on one of the white blockers. Not sure what the penalty was, but it does mean it's going to be slightly easier for that black jammer to get through. And it looks like they just did. Black has lead. Black Kamikaze. White jammer is still in. Just snuck around the outside on toe stops. I love the toe stop hops. Black jammer through for another pass, so 4 more points for black. White jammer now trying to push through. White jammer tried to sneak around the outside, was unsuccessful, just did a leap. But unfortunately, because the white jammer's hands both hit outside the track on that apex jump, that was a penalty, unfortunately. That became a cutting penalty. In order to land an apex jump, you technically need to have both skates and all your limbs inside. If your hands touch down outside, that unfortunately does not mean it's a valid jump. Black still on track with lead. Nice long jam.
Kamikaze dashing on that outside line. Nice defense by black.
Oh, looks like there was a penalty on the black jammer. And another black blocker as well. So now we have, is it just one? Yep. Black team's going to be starting with a jammer and a blocker in the bin. Unless I see the bench coach walking toward the middle asking questions. Love a good bench coach question. We'll see if it turns into an official review. Each team gets 1 official review per half. If they win the official review, then they retain that official review.
We are starting this jam with Red Bull 666 for the white team. Power jam. Closer to the mic. Power jam for white. With 2 black skaters in the bin at the start of this jam.
One of the white blockers is also in the bin. White got lead. So that's white 666 Bruiser Bond. Bruiser Bond, I don't think jammed in the first half. These are mashup teams, so these skaters, some of them have skated together, but they haven't skated in these formations previously. So a lot of the teamwork that you're seeing is just the magic of Derby. White 666 tried to do an apex jump.
We're about to see a jammer bounce.
So when both jammers go to the bin,
apologies.
They say for some reason, no, it was a penalty after all. If you cannot have Derby without at least one jammer on the track, so when both jammers are penalized, when the second jammer enters the bin, the first jammer is released, the second jammer sits the amount of time that the first jammer sat. It is very confusing for everybody, especially those poor penalty box folks. So I'm glad that we have experts as non-skating officials today.
Some powerful skating by Black Jammer just then. And intensity from the white blockers.
It always looks like some awkward ballet when things go really, really well. So Black is not lead, but both jammers are back on track, and it will be a 2-minute jam. That 2-minute jam is nearly over, so we'll see who manages to get points in the last few seconds. Both jammers getting final 4 points, and it looks like, unless there are late penalties that we have not seen arrive in the bin yet, it looks like both teams. We have a timeout. Looks like we'll have 2 full lineups.
At this point, we want to make an acknowledgement of country. Where we train and skate is on the traditional lands of the Kulin nations, of the Wurundjeri Wurrung people. It's a stolen land, always was and always will be, and we pay our respects to elders, past, present, and emerging.
So this is an official timeout. This is an opportunity for officials to fix things that might have gone wrong in the previous jam. It looks like the head ref is having a chat with the white bench coach, explaining that something bad has happened. There was some confusion, and somebody is probably on their way to the bin. That's usually what it means when the bench is approached by the officials. It's never good.
It's not a good
No. You see them on the way, you know, something bad is about to happen, or something bad happened. It could just be a reminder that this is modified contact, so no chasing down and hitting. That is not allowed in modified contact. We also should see lineups from the other side of the track. Also having a word with the penalty box. Officials do try to keep official timeouts as short as possible so that skaters can stay warm. I know that I did an officiating course with Harry Spotter back in the day from VRDL. Harry Spotter is no longer spotting. He's doing other stuff with his life. But he did encourage people to keep track of how long official reviews went and official timeouts, and encourage everyone to keep them under 2 minutes. But that is an aspirational thing at this point, I think. We just passed the 2-minute mark for our official timeout. I don't see much dancing on track, by the way. This was the perfect, yes, Black team, yes. It was the perfect opportunity for a dance. Stay warm. You know, dancing is a great way to stay warm. If you get too cold, that next jam is harder than it needs to be. That was the end of the official timeout. Now it's time for seriousness. We have White 22, Sonic Bash, and I believe that's Black 33, who is Nightmares on track as jammers. It looks like Nightmares just got lead, followed closely by Sonic Dash. Nightmares trying to use their bony hips to push through and getting through. Again, followed closely by Sonic Dash. As I said before, little jammers can be trouble because it's easy to hold them back sometimes, but other times they're little enough to sneak through the smallest of holes. And when you're juniors, trying to cover the whole width of the track, it can be really, really tough. So that was 4 more points for Nightmares. Sonic Dash being drawn back by one of the other blockers. And Nightmares calling it.
At the end of that jam, Black is on 195 points. White on 134. That jam rewarding 6 points to White and 8 to Black.
At this rate, this next jam, we should maybe see the Black team break 200 points. Moody, there's a question from the bench here. Moody, hello. We have an official. We had some official chaos right there. Official chaos. It is now an official timeout. There were some points questions for the last jam. The only opportunity to fix points is in the 30 seconds between jams. If the scoring error persists, that's just how it is, unfortunately. So what's on the scoreboard is the law when the next jam starts. That's the end of that official timeout. So we have White 7, Izzy Spark jamming, and the other jammer, unfortunately, is in the bin. Again, that jammer can get lead jammer. Black jammer can get lead if White does not get lead first, but it looks like that just happened. White is now lead in a power jam situation. The pack has started to move a little bit faster. Looks like the pack became split for a moment there. When there's no pack, that means that no one is allowed to block. So if anyone's blocking, whether it's the jammer or whether it's the blockers continuing to block, someone can get penalized. So White got through again. Black jammer is back on and has completed their initial pass. So this is their first scoring pass. We're not yet at 200 for the black team, but I think that could change pretty quickly. Looks like there's at least 1 point. I don't want to predict points here. It might be a bit close. White called it. It looks like there were 3 points for black, so that is bang on 200 for the black team right now, and we're at 140 for white. On track, we have 666 Deadpool for white and Black 8 Jackhammer for black. Sorry. Jackhammer pushing through.
White 666 made a beautiful hole in that wall there and just managed to push through.
Black jammer on the way to the bin along with the pivot, it looks like. So it is a power jam for white. White getting right through. Looks like there was a multiplayer block on one of the black blockers, which means that there are 2 blockers left for black. It's always a bit grim when that happens. It's really hard to bridge when you only have 2 on track. 4 more points for white. Hopefully they can get some extra points and fill in that gap. White pushing hard through the pack. And black jammer also through, making that initial pass. So this next pass is scoring unless the white team calls it off. So that was no points for the black team that time around, but 12? At least 12 for white. Do you want to read the scores out?
White team is starting off his jam with 152 points. Black on 200. On track, we've got Skater 911 for white. We've got Kamikaze for the black team. Kamikaze straight out of the pack, taking lead.
White 911, Lil Miss Chaos, I don't think has jammed yet. I think this might be the first time jamming.
Yep.
It's always nice to see different skaters take turns doing things that they wouldn't normally do. Again, especially in mashup teams, most teams have like designated jammers, designated pivots, but in mashup teams you lose a little bit of that, and there's a lot more variety in what people attempt, which is fun. You never know who's going to make a good jammer. Looks like we have a penalty on Black 12. There was an attempt at an assist from Charlotte's Web to help Lil Miss Chaos get through. 4 more points for Black. Lil Miss Chaos is having a little bit of trouble getting through the pack there. Jamming is not easy. Don't let anyone make it look easy, and don't believe that. It's tough work. I would hate to be a jammer, especially here now. Kamikaze making it look easy though. We've got Charlotte's Web trying to make it easier for the jammer. The jammer's still having a bit of trouble. Oh, but finally got through.
And
Jammer's
Chaos
through. Yay! Chaos. And Black is calling the jam. Oh. I almost saw a fall from an official on skates back there. Smirk, I saw that. That was almost amazing, but it was an amazing catch as well. The first skating official to fall buys Kool-Aid for everybody after the bout, just in case you didn't know that. On track, we have Black 17, Madam Crusher, and White 22, Sonic Dash jamming. We have 2 full lineups on track. So it's hard work for those jammers once again. Black has lead, followed closely by White.
Sonic Dash living up to their name and dashing out, trying to catch Madam Crusher. Of course they won't, because we're mod contact.
Again, slowing down before you hit the back of the pack is one of the rules. So if you're wondering why those jammers aren't just smashing through, it's because that's part of modified contact.
Sonic Dash taking points and getting out the front of that pack.
It looks like there was a helmet cover pass. So the former jammer is now just a blocker. I think it was the lead jammer passed the helmet cover, which is unusual. Generally, a lead jammer will call the jam rather than pass the helmet cover. When the helmet cover comes off, the lead jammer loses lead. So this will be a 2-minute jam. From where we're sitting, it is hard to see the opposite side of the track, so if we're quiet here and there, that's probably why. 4 more points for the white team. There was a multiplayer block penalty. It was hard to see what the penalty was, but there is a penalty on one of the white blockers. Looking at the amount of time left in this jam, it looks like the white team is going to be starting 1 down. So Black is on 224 and White is on 164. We still have 13.5 minutes left of this second half.
We are greeted at the start by Easy Spark for White, number 7, and Jackhammer for the Black team. Jam is on.
And there's a player from each team in the bin, a blocker from each team in the bin. So this is what we would call
lead.
This is what we would call Derby Light, because you only have 3 blockers to get through. White has completed their initial pass. Hopefully they can catch up. There's a penalty on somebody. Penalty on White team. Yes, the White Jammer did make it through, just snuck through the inside.
We're seeing a lot of agility from this jammer, Izzy Spark. Jack Hammer making out the front of the pack.
And getting instructions to keep on going. Keep going and get those points.
Jack Hammer living up to their name. Nice bulldozing through the front of that pack.
White Jammer also doing really well. Pushing through, just hit the ground. Black Jammer hit the ground. And now calling it. With another 4 points, the White Jammer managed to get 2 points on that as well, on that last pass. So we had 16 points for Black on that jam and 10 for White. We have Black 19 double whammy jamming, and yay! And White 3 Nels Bells. I don't know that double whammy has jammed yet. So I'm excited to see what double whammy manages to do. Pushing through. Right out the front. Oh, it's so close. I don't know who's lead. It looks like Black got lead. I can only tell that because of the wrist cover on Moody's wrist. So White is not lead. I love seeing the jammers so close. It's such a close contest.
So the first
Pushing
through.
through.
The jammers.
Another 4 points for the Black Jammer. White Jammer getting some assistance from one of their teammates. Unfortunately, it looks like there was a penalty on one of the Black players. Black Jammer getting pushed out and drawn back. Black Jammer calling it before the White Jammer can score any additional points. So Black is on 247 with 7 points that jam, and White is on 182 with 4 points. There are still 10 minutes left, which means at least 5 jams. So if each jam, the White team scores 20 points, that means that they could still win. So there's everything to play for. We have Black 10, Never Ending Rory jamming for Black, and White 22, Sonic Dash jamming for White. Black has lead. White is out, finished their initial pass. The Black Jammer is being told to slow down and calm down by the bench coach. Just keep it chill, just zen, breathe. I know you want the points, but we have plenty of times.
Some big hits there between Black Jammer and White.
Rainbow Bash, yeah. The White Jammer is being sent to the bin. I did not see what that penalty was, but that does mean that we have a power jam for White.
Cut track on
Rory
White
being
Jammer.
told to continue. Get the points, get the points. We've got 12 points for this jam, I believe that is. Rory pushing through, getting some assistance from the Black blockers. I'm waiting for that bench coach to remind Rory to take a deep breath. Zen, calm, calling it just as the White Jammer enters the track. So 3 more points for Black, and there were 2 points for White that were scored before that White Jammer went to the bin. The bench coach for Black team is walking into the middle Again, I love to see that, but it sometimes is not amazing news. Just wondering what the conversation is. It is not an official review. Not an official review. Just comments, feedback for the ref team. We have Charlotte's Web, White 777 jamming for White, and it looks like, was that Kamikaze? Kamikaze jamming for Black. Both jammers staying pretty close to each other. White team is out the front, trying to hold that jammer back. It is important to bridge. In order for a pack to be valid, all skaters in the pack need to be within 10 feet of each other. So when you see both teams split that way, if there's more than 10 feet between them, then you have no pack and no one is allowed to engage. That can happen strategically, or it can happen by accident. If it happens on purpose, that is often penalty worthy. We have 4 more points from each jammer. Black is still lead. Looking for instructions from the bench coach. Stepping ever so daintily over the white player to get an extra point. It's getting a bit messy on the other side of the track where we can't see very well, but the black jammer has gotten through for another 4 points. And that's the end of the jam. 2-minute naturally ended jam. Six minutes left in the half. I believe that was 12 and 12 for points. So black is on 270, white is on 196. So if white team plays their cards right, they will break 200 this next jam.
We are seeing Izzy Spark from the white team lineup for this jam, and nightmares for Team Black.
We do have one black pivot in the bin. That means that the black jammer cannot pass their helmet cover if they get tired. It looks like there was a penalty on white 666 from where I was sitting that could have been directional. It could have been excessive force. It's hard to say. Black jammer is through and is now lead. White jammer still at the back of the pack, having a bit of a hard time. There is still one white blocker in the bin. White has made their initial pass, so can start scoring. And we're hoping to see them break 200 in this jam. In case you haven't worked it out, people at home and people watching, the jammer scores 1 point when they pass the hips of the opposing blocker once they've made their initial pass. So these little skaters who have little hips are slightly easier to score on. We now have 2 blockers in the bin, 1 from each team. And no points for white. So hopefully this next jam will be the lucky jam where they break 200. So that was 8 points for black for a total of 278. White still in 196 with just over 4 minutes left, which means probably at least 2 jams.
Both teams starting with a blocker in the bin for this jam.
We've got Madam Crusher, number 17 for black, and 22 Sonic Bash jamming for white. Both jammers being very effectively held back. White got lead. Again, we're hoping for this to be the lucky jam where they break 200 points.
Madam Crusher still pushing, hasn't yet made their initial pass. Sonic Dash picking up 4 points.
Straight through. Like a knife, hot knife through butter, as they say. Maybe we'll see a... that looks like that was a cut track from the black jammer. It did look like they got knocked out and did not exit the track completely in order to re-enter the track behind the blocker that knocked them out. And White Jammer calling it.
Calling it with the black jammer in the bin.
Yes, so we have 8 points for that jam. White has broken 200, so we have White on 204. Yay! And Black on 278. I do notice that both teams have all of their timeouts and official reviews remaining. All of the timeouts and official reviews. Just in case you're listening, bench coaches, I guess we're too strong for timeouts.
Rainbow Smash taking off that jam line. They're the only jammer on track. This is a power jam for White.
So small, but so agile and so good. Nice. Taking lead. Yes, Rainbow Smash. We have the black jammer in the bin and a white blocker in the bin. But it looks like Rainbow Smash is not giving up so easily. Trying to skate around the outside. Being pushed out. Oh, that was a penalty on the black blocker that pushed Rainbow Smash out. Up. And the black jammer being pushed out as well. I believe the black jammer is still on their initial pass. White jammer getting through. We have one block from each team in the bin currently. So we are at Derby Light. Black jammer is still trying to push through. That white wall is pretty effective right now. I think they got through because there was a no pack called. Rainbow Bash still pushing through, getting all of the points.
And Rainbow Smash calls it.
So I believe that is 8 points for Rainbow Smash on that jam, putting White at 212 and Black staying on 278. With 50 seconds left on the game clock, this could be the last jam. It's never a guarantee, though. Sometimes we have really short jams and we can sneak an extra one in, especially if there's an official review called. And it looks like there's an official timeout. Oh, and we have the black bench coach also calling an official. There's an official timeout. The black bench coach has walked back, so it looks like the thing that she was calling the official review over may have been resolved. Yes, the dancing on the track. I love it. Dancing on skates is way harder than they make it look, folks. Don't try it without full gear on. We have White 666, Dreadpool, and Black 09. The rumor jamming. Black has lead in what might be the last jam of this bout. White 666 being fairly effectively held back, but finally got through. One of the black blockers is on the way to the bin. Black jammer having a slightly harder time this time than they had before. Smashing through regardless. 4 more points for the black team. The white jammer just bouncing right through, getting some points. The period clock is out of time, but this jam is not. We could have another minute and 14 seconds in this jam. Black jammer getting through again. Someone got a penalty. Looks like Black 66 got one of the blockers, Pivot even, got a penalty. White 666 getting 4 points. Black jammer still pushing through the pack. Black jammer is through. We'll see if the black jammer decides to milk the points and have a 2-minute jam, or whether they decide to call it off and call it a game. Black Jammer calling it, deciding that is enough before the White Jammer can get any points. So this is the unofficial final. We won't read it out until it is official, because it's the last opportunity for the Jam refs to fix any points at the end of the game. Moody is happy. Jack looks happy. Is Jack happy? Jack is happy. Jack is very happy. Jack is always happy if you're nice to Jack. We have some disagreement, but I think that was an amazing game. Both teams did really, really well. Our unofficial score, Black on 290, White on 224. Both teams got 12 points that last jam. It won't be an official score until the last whistle. The head ref will do a rolling whistle. Did they? How did I miss the rolling whistle? I didn't hear a rolling whistle. I was talking too much. And no one can hear what you're saying either, which is trouble. So thanks everybody at home. Thanks officials. Thanks skaters and bench coaches. That was an amazing game. Really fun to commentate. It is now an official score. Thank you very much, Daisy. We could not run roller derby without the skating officials and the non-skating officials and all the volunteers. It takes a lot of work to make all this happen. If you have a child or someone you care for who's under 18 who would love to join roller derby, get in touch with East Vic Roller Derby and sign your child up today. There are other leagues represented today as well. I believe we have VRDL. I think there's someone from Ballarat. There's a bunch of teams involved today. So thank you very much. And the next game will start soon.